Hello, I'm Julie with Paisleys and Polka Dots, and today I am going to show you how to put together our wood snow globe. Before I get started, I want to share with you a little bit about some of the paints I use and the different options for painting. So if you can use spray paint, any color spray paint, and if you want to spray paint, then I recommend putting all the pieces together first and then spray painting it after it's all assembled. This one here I spray painted black and put it all together, spray painted it with matte black spray paint, and then I sanded the edges just a little bit with a fine grit sandpaper like this one you see here, and just to give it a little bit of stressing. And then I put an extra coat of clear matte spray over the top of that just to give it a little bit of a sheen. This one you see here, I painted this one white. Again, it was all assembled beforehand, and then I spray painted. If you want quick and easy, spray painting is definitely way to go, but you don't have as many options when it comes to the spray paint. So if that's the case and you want specific colors, or if you want multiple colors, because you can always paint these little scallop pieces a different color to add some contrast to your piece. I thought they would be really cute painted a different color. Like this would have been really cute painted red. So just give you options. In that case, I use these small bottles of acrylic paints that you buy at Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, any of the hobby stores or the craft stores. And it just allows you to have more options for paint colors. I don't usually use any one particular brand. It might be the Americana, might be the Delta. Whichever brand you find in the color that you like, that will work. This is the brush I use to paint the acrylic paint. You can also use a foam brush, but I like this size brush. It works great for me. But whatever you feel most comfortable with, you can use that. I've even seen people use the small tiny roller. I have not tried it myself, but I have heard they work great. So that's always an option too. The glue I use to glue all of this together is the Aleene's Tacky. I like it because it holds the pieces in place well while they're drying. And somebody asked me why I use this glue versus wood glue, especially if I paint with the acrylic paints first and then glue everything together. I like that this glue dries clear, where if I was to use a wood glue such as this, it's yellow. So you see that yellow glue when it dries. So I prefer a glue that dries clear. But whatever you're comfortable with, you may use that. Also, when you're gluing your pieces together, sometimes like these bigger pieces that you see here, they want to pull apart sometimes. And if that happens, or when you get all your pieces layered together and you find that they want to pull apart, you can use clamps like these. Smaller pieces you can just use like even a clothespin like this. But these clamps work great for holding your pieces together while your wood is drying. Just be sure that if you use these clamps, that before you go away and let your piece dry, that these pieces are not going to shift on you while the piece is drying, because I have done that. I've clamped them together and then come back and everything is shifted a little bit. So you do want to be sure that your pieces are set up enough that the clamps are going to hold them in place and not move. So beware of that. I think that's it about for what I use for paint. So let's get started on putting this together. Also, if you do decide to paint and with the acrylic paints, you are going to want to be sure that you don't get any glue in these slots right here, because if you get the glue in the slots and then you go to put also on these ones right here too, on these two parts that stick out, because they're going to go in the base, and if you paint the tops of these, then they may not fit into here. Now if you do find that they don't fit, all you need to do is get a nail file or a precision file. These work great if you have done any of our other kits and you're trying to sand away paper in tight spaces. These precision files work great, and you can find them at your local hardware store like Home Depot and Lowe's. And you just take the file and file the slot, or with this one, just file it, and it will take it down just enough that you can get your wood piece into those slots again. And you do want it to fit tight because you don't want your piece to be wobbling. So the first thing that you are going to do is, as you can tell, there is a front and a back to this, because by the time we layer all these pieces on the front, we want it to be centered in the middle of the board here. So the wider part is your front, the smaller part is your back. Okay, and if you want, you can put a little bit of glue on these 3 little areas here to glue it in place, but I'm just going to slide it in there for now. So that's, you just slide it into the base like that, and then you can take this piece here. Now there's a hole in the back so that you can pop out the inner part. In fact, let me go over that part first before we get any further. So these 2 pieces here, this one here is for your cross stitch piece. Now I know a lot of you use the sticky backings, which I think work great. They whatever you're comfortable using, you can use this piece as a template so that you can trace around your sticky backing and cut it out, or you can use this wood piece. In my case, with these 2 that you see here, I actually used the piece of wood, and I never did that before. I've never done it before, and I thought it turned out really nice. I thought it gave nice clean edges, and it really made a nice edge. I think even if I would have put a piece, I didn't put a piece of batting behind this one, but I think if I did, it still would have looked really, really nice. And for the first time, I tried, because I wanted it to be able to stick to something, so I used this spray adhesive that I've had around, and I just sprayed the wood with the glue, let it sit for a few minutes to become tacky, and then I put my cross stitch piece right on top of that, and then turned it over and pulled everything to the back. So as you can see on the back side of this one, I sprayed the glue for the material. So this bigger piece here, this one is for your material. And again, I sprayed this piece, put my material on, directly onto the wood, flipped it over, and then I sprayed it again, and then I flipped my piece over, and I just kind of wrapped, as I went around the piece, I wrapped my fabric around the wood. And I did take some of the tacky glue in some of the little sections to try and hold it down just a little bit better, because my spray adhesive is a repositionable spray adhesive. So I wanted to be sure that it stuck down nicely, but so far I've had this sample done for a few months now, and it's not gone anywhere, and it holds nicely. So hope you can see how nice that finish looks. So that's always an option. Or like I said, you can just use these as templates to draw out whatever backings you like to use, and then pop them into the frame. I will carry extra backings in the shop in case you decide that the snow globe is something that you want to use month after month, or change out your little, in fact, I put a magnet on this one. If you want to change out your snow globes to different patterns, then you can do that too. So I'll have extras of these in the shop if you want to use this. Or like I said, just trace around what you're used to and use it as a template. So you have options for that. The hole in the back is made so that you can pop these in and out easily. So when it fits pretty tight once you have it in there, it's not snug. It'll pop in and out no problem. But that hole in the back is made so that you can push your finger through it and push that out. So you can just put a magnet right here and then pop these right in. Okay, so so I have my base on, and then I'm going to do this piece here. So I like to take my glue, and I like to go around the whole entire piece. My glue's getting toward the bottom here, so now we have to wait for it to go to the top. Guess I need to put it in a smaller bottle here. Okay, so we are going to go all the way around this piece. I don't want to use too much glue, because I think that also tends to, if you use too much glue, tends to moisten the wood a little bit, I think, and that's when you tend to have that, the pull, when the wood wants to pull apart on you. So I go all the way around the piece. Some people I know use the rapid set glues. I have tried them once or twice and they work. There's no problem using those, but I tend to end up, it's like super glue, and I tend to end up gluing my fingers together. So I don't typically use those for myself because I just don't work well with them. So, okay. So there you go. I have it all the way around on my piece here, and you are going to glue this on to the base. And you can leave the base loose. You don't have to, you know, you can take it in and out if you, in case you want to have it off for purposes of storing. You know, you can leave the base so that it comes off, so that you can store it when you're not using it, and it will lay a little bit flatter. So make sure you push all these together well, and then make sure it's all aligned at the sides so that it lines up nice and neat. Okay, like so. And if any glue squirts out, just wipe it off and have a damp cloth nearby so you can wipe your fingers with that. Okay, so we have that piece together. Now this one goes on the top right here, and someone has asked me why do I have this one, and it's because once you put these two in, you don't have to use this if you don't want to, but once you put these two pieces in, then this sticks above, your cross stitch piece sticks above the frame, so this evens it out just a little bit. So that's why I added that in there. That's why that's there. So it's up to you whether you want to use the outer frame or not. So next I'm going to put this one on. Going to go all the way around the wood again. I kind of push everything down really, really tight. Go all the way around it, push it down. Okay, and again, make sure it's all lined up. Like so. Okay, so it's still all lined up on the sides, as you can see. And the glue doesn't set immediately. I guess if that's one of the nice things about not using one of those super fast rapid set glues, is that you do have time to work with your pieces. If they shift at all, then you have a little bit of time to move them into place. Okay, so these are the two scallop edge pieces, and these were the pieces I said would be cute painted a different color, and then the frames go over the top. These two little extra pieces go over the top, so all you have is the scallops left. So I thought that would be a cute little definition with a different color, just to add a different color into the piece if you wanted to do that. So I put the glue there. Oops, I should have glued this piece down first, but we're gonna do it this way. I always say there's no right or wrong. We just change it up, right? And then I can glue this piece down. And that gets glued right there underneath the top of the globe. So like I got a little bit of glue here, you can just wipe it off. And like I said, it's white and it will dry clear, so you don't really have to worry about it. If you're gonna do it this way, it doesn't matter anyway if it shows, because you're gonna spray paint over the top of it. But when you're using the acrylic paints, that glue would show if it's drying, unless you want to touch it up with the paint. Of course, you can always do that. Okay, so here is this one. Again, I probably should have glued down the scallop part, but it doesn't really matter. It all will work out in the end. Okay, so this one will go on the bottom here. I get it all lined up, even on the sides. Make sure it's all lined up on the sides, just like so. Hope you can see that there. And they will shift around a little bit until the glue starts to set up. Now at this point, see, I can put some glue on the bottom here. If you want it to stay in your base. You can even put some right on the base part here. Okay, and then stick it into the base. And then push it down nice and tight. And then that way, it's not gonna, when it dries, it's gonna be nice and sealed in that base, and it won't come off. Okay, Now, of course, you're going to want to lay it down, get everything all lined up, and then you can lean this off the table edge so that your base is going to dry. Okay, you won't be able to see it in the video here, but if I pull it way down and I lay it off the table, then this edge will be just fine. So, and again, if you need to, mine is not pulling apart, as you can see. It's all nice and tight. The edges are all nice and flush, and I don't need to use any clamps to hold it closed. Sometimes I wonder if it's the weather, you know, if there's more moisture or the air's more dry. Sometimes that can be a factor too. So there you have it. There is your finished piece. So now I can spray paint this one. A little bit about the decorating. I'm going to set this aside so it'll dry properly. I did, for this one, or even the black one, I added a little decorative piece down here to the bottom. I just took some greenery that I found at Hobby Lobby, and there is a little, these magnets I get at the dollar store, but this little wood round piece here, I glued a bunch of greenery to it and added a little ribbon, and then I just magnetized it to the front. So when I switch these out, I can also switch this little cute piece out. So, or you can put it up here, put some bows on it, however you, I know all you ladies are so talented when it comes to your finishes. So just an option for you, and that's what that little round piece is for, if you want to play with it to add some greenery or such to that. Okay, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for future videos, and I will put the link below to the website and the link to this project. So thank you for watching. Bye.